Hi everybody, I am in the beautiful meth capital of Indiana, Elkhart, Indiana. And I am here today on 6-22-2018, around 4 something or other, to file a complaint with the Elkhart Police Department. So just a little background on this situation here while I'm walking and talking in this horrible city I'm in. I called to file a complaint against an officer. And you know, I don't have that officer's name. I do not. This is incompetent of me. Nope. Wait a minute. I've got it. Hold up a second, folks. See the green grass there for a moment. There we go. An officer, a detective, a guy tone, badge number 443, illegally detained me yesterday in the city of New Carlisle, Indiana. It's a long story. You guys will kind of hear it here, but I tried to file a complaint with a Sergeant Tweeter. You know, he's of the opinion, excuse me, sorry about that. Sergeant Tweener is of the opinion that taking a photograph in public is deemed to be a detainable offense, and I disagreed, and I felt the conversation wasn't going to go any further in a positive manner, so I basically ceased it, or it was a mutual ceasement. So we'll see how this goes.
Sometimes we only need 4 hours.
It's records. No, not records.
Support and that kind of stuff. But
Not
I appreciate it.
records.
Thanks a lot. My contact information's on the bottom of that too. Great. Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend.
So these are the fallen heroes. So that's interesting. That is a black line, not a blue. Interesting. Hi, how are you, sir?
Good.
So, I need to speak to the captain or the chief. I need to file a complaint on one of your officers who illegally detained me in the city of New Carlisle yesterday. And I spoke to a Sergeant Tweener. That conversation did not go accurately. I left a message for your PIO, no response. So I think it's time to go up the chain so I can file a complaint, please.
Okay. Let me go see if any of them are here. A moment.
Good. Thank you, sir. Is this some type of a museum here? Something. This is a museum. So you can see the time there, folks. Interesting.
Yeah, they're gone for the weekend.
Okay.
Your best bet is probably call here Monday morning.
So, sir, I'm from New Carlisle, Indiana.
Okay.
That's a long ways. And so may I file a report, a complaint with somebody else, please? So from Elkhart to New Carlisle is at least a good 20 miles each way, so about 40 miles round trip. If you have a homicide in Elkhart, please contact that number. If you have a drug tip, I mean, this is the meth capital of Indiana. I mean, this puts all the southern counties of Indiana to shame as far as meth. Like, this literally is the meth capital of the state. I mean, there's literally been houses that have blown up in this county because they're cooking meth. Like, it's a horrible problem for whatever reason.
So what'd they say, sir? be someone up here shortly. It's our afternoon supervisor.
Okay. I have a question. Why is Elkhart County so historically bad with a meth problem? Like, why is it just this county and not St. Joe, not Cass, not Marshall? It's just like right here.
That I don't know.
Okay, thank you, sir. See the logo here. So far they don't have a problem upon photography. Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go, gang symbol. Gang symbol alert. You know, I love how they try to pass this off as a fallen officer. That's a gang symbol, and I'm going to do everything in my power for the DOJ and the FBI to quantify that as a gang symbol. That is just egregious. Gang symbol. Gang symbol. Let's see what this says. If you guys are interested. Oop, a little bit of a... So sorry for my camera work. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm more of a better commentator than I am a camera person. I have to learn how to be better at my cameramanship. You guys want to see that? Authorize personnel only, no weapons. I don't understand what no weapons means. Anybody could hurt somebody with a plastic spoon. I don't understand what that means, or a ballpoint pen. I don't get that. Oh, that dog has a big tongue. See that tonguage? Good night. That's a big tongue. Ooh. So I'm assuming of my experience with law enforcement here. Oop, I'm gonna step on that table. That this is the active law enforcement folk. You know, I need to file a records request actually while I'm here. So if you have any drugs you don't want, you know, I would not advise bringing any unwanted prescriptions here because they could stop you, and so if you're Percocet or something, probably just don't bother with that. She's on the phone, so we'll give her a moment to respond. History. Wow, this is great, folks. This literally tells the tale. This is informative. So we got a 1700s. You got a guy with a musket. I don't even know what that is. And a cleaver of sorts. I don't know what that is. And then you have the 1850s. I don't know if it's a billy club or a piece of paper, I don't know. And then you have a long rifle, 1870s, 1900s. You have the bobby in 1920s. Hi, how are you? Good. So I'd like to file a record request. Okay. It's going to be an unusual request. Okay. So the request is for an officer, a Detective Guy Tone. His badge number is 443, and there are two requests I'd like to make. First request, I need his full name. Okay. Second request is there was an incident in New Carlisle yesterday.
In what?
In New Carlisle.
Okay.
Where he was off duty, he illegally pulled me over, and he took some video from his personal cell phone. I have video of him taking video of me taking video. Okay? So my thinking is this. If you have any questions, please just tell me or ask me. But I feel he pulled me over. He was acting in his official capacity at that point. So I feel whatever is on his phone is public record. Furthermore, I also feel, I believe his wife or girlfriend, she was also taking footage. So if he wants to involve his family, then I feel in a roundabout way, then he deputized his family. So the footage on either the kids and or the wife or their footage is also public record in this situation. Now, I understand that is a odd and unusual request.
It is, yeah.
I don't think I'm out of line how I'm thinking about that.
Do you have, can I see that really quick?
You can see it like this if you like.
Yes. Is that the name of the officer?
But that's not the correct spelling. That's the
Okay.
badge number though, but that's
Oh yeah, you said, and that's 442?
443.
443?
Sorry, horrible handwriting.
Okay, give me just a second.
Sure. So he is a detective actually, Guy Tone, and he lives in New Carlisle. Hi, how are you, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Can you maybe take your hands out of your pockets, please, sir?
No, I'm comfortable. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm not comfortable. So we're going to cease this conversation. And so I'd like it on record that you violated my 8th Amendment right.
Right.
And you are a CIA officer. So I'm going to file a record request. I'd like you to leave, and I'll include you upon the lawsuit. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Okay, sir.
Do you need anything else?
Not from you, no, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other official business here?
I'm getting a record request.
Okay, I'll stand here while you do.
No, you're not going to poison me, sir. So that's what you're
Great.
doing.
Okay.
So, folks, this is a gentleman. I need your name and badge number, please.
Sergeant Mayer 413.
Okay. Why do you have your hands in your pocket, sir?
Because it's comfortable.
No, because you're governmental agent. That's why it is, sir.
Okay.
So I'm having a health side effect from you having your hands in your pocket, sir. And I have a federal,
Do you need a medic?
I just need you to quit poisoning me, sir.
Okay.
So I have a federal lawsuit that attends to what you're doing right now, sir.
Great. Do you need a medic to look at you?
No, I need you to leave so you can quit poisoning me. So I am going in the furthest part of the room, and he will not take his hands out of his pocket. So either he has a weapon or he's poisoning me as I am articulating. So why is it that you're dishonest, sir?
Are you getting a report from records?
I am, and they're gonna have some time to do it.
Can you buzz me real quick so I can hear them? So I can kick him out of here when he's done.
So why are you being so rude, sir? You understand that this is a public building, sir? Yeah. See, so this guy is corrupt and dishonest, this guy. Hey, sir. I'm gonna need the lieutenant who's on duty. That guy's out of control.
Okay, well, there's no lieutenant on duty right now.
So I need his supervisor, please,
Okay,
immediately.
he's the highest here right now.
Well, then I need to call somebody else, state police, county sheriff. He's out of control,
You
sir.
can call him.
So why are you guys treating me so horribly?
I don't know, sir.
Well-
I'm just letting you know he's the highest.
You don't know why you guys are treating me bad, sir?
Have I treated you bad?
Sir, you've been fantastic. You've been most
I don't know
excellent.
why. I can't control anyone else how they treat.
Well, so does that make it right that you're being respectful?
But what I'm saying is I can't control how other people treat you.
But
right?
you're an officer, and that just reinforces the whole theory behind that a good officer stand by, and you have bad officers who violate people's rights. Like, he just did me, sir. So I'd like somebody else who could come out here, please. So, folks, I'm already experiencing a corruption here at the Elkhart City Police Department. And somehow this guy thinks that this is his house. This is our house. We own this house. He's just an occupant. He's just a tenant here. So this is quite amazing how he wants to exhibit governmental agent behavior. So he's going to have to attest to that in a federal lawsuit. Hi.
Great. So what else do you need? Because what you're asking of her, she isn't at liberty to give you. So what else do you need?
Why isn't she at liberty to give me that,
You're
sir?
asking for things that our records department doesn't do.
How is that not a public record, sir?
You're asking her to give you things that she doesn't do.
So then can she give me a written response that that's not what she does? So I don't understand. So you're
Here's
saying,
my name and badge number, and that's the detective you were asking her about.
yeah.
Detective Guy Tolan's badge number.
So
442.
thank you. So
Do you need anything else?
why can't she accommodate the request, sir?
Because you're asking for things that they don't keep in the records department. What
So
else
then
we do for you?
so you under, here we go again. What is your problem? So could you back away from me, please? I am feeling very threatened right now.
Why?
Because you are fitting the profile of a governmental agent. So could you please
Well, listen, I'm
stop violating my
listen,
rights, sir, please?
Do you want to have an intelligent conversation, or do you want to keep talking?
Sir, I can have any type of conversation that you want to have, but first take your hands out of your pockets. I don't have my hands in my pockets. You're making me feel very uncomfortable.
Why?
Sir, I've told you why multiple times.
Okay. Why does it make you uncomfortable?
So we'll see what a civil jury says of an officer who refuses to take his hands out of his pockets for accusations of being a governmental
My
agent.
hands are. My hands
Sir,
aren't even in my
in
pockets.
your
They're
sir,
relaxing
I've
right
been
there with
doing
two
this for
fingers.
almost 12 years.
Okay.
You immediately fit the profile. So
What else-
I'm
what else
asking
do
you
need?
again.
What else do you need,
Sir, I've told you, I would like a written denial that she cannot accommodate me. That's all I'd
I'm
like.
asking her for a personal cell phone video from an officer.
Sir, that's public record.
An officer's personal cell phone.
When he's in the official capacity,
My
absolutely.
officers don't work in New Carlisle.
Sir, he was in New Carlisle in his official capacity.
When was this?
Yesterday about 5 o'clock. And I have
Would you like to
vid.
explain to me what happened then, or you want to keep standing across the room?
Sir, you take your hands out of your pockets. I'll
Here we go.
feel
Let's go.
free to have a conversation with you.
Is it more comfortable to have my hands up here near my belt?
Yes, absolutely. Because at that point, I know that I'm not doing anything wrong for you to draw your weapons. Okay, so I was driving on an access road by Memorial Park in New Carlisle, Indiana.
Okay.
I witnessed a red car who was exhibiting behavior consistent with being a governmental agent, okay? And
What does that mean?
that means somebody who is working for a governmental agency such as the CIA. That's what I'm getting at here.
What behavior is that that made you think that?
Sir, I'm not a cheap whore.
What?
I'm not a cheap whore.
What does that mean?
That means that you get paid to come to work, correct?
Okay.
Okay, so that means that my expertise does not come cheap. So if the city of Elkhart would like to hire my services, it's very expensive.
I don't want to hire your service. I want
So
you to
I'm not
explain-
ta-
Hey, you're talking over me. I'm asking.
I'm
a
not-
question. I just want you to explain.
Sir,
what you're
I'm
saying.
not going to divulge what alerted me to the occupant
Okay, then go on with your story.
known as Mr. Gaitone,
Okay.
who's a governmental agent, okay?
He's not a
So
governmental agent.
he
He's-
absolutely
he's
is, just like you are, sir. So let me talk. You want to hear the story or you want to talk over me?
Detective for the Elkhart City Police Department.
Sir,
Government agent.
I want you to cite me any law that says a domestic governmental agent has to register. So I can see you're getting frustrated. I can do this all day till you shoot me, tase me, kick me out, take me to jail. However you want to play it.
If you have no.
So
if you
then
have
let
no
me finish my
legitimate
story,
business, I can
please.
kick you out of my lobby.
Sir, it's a public building. I could order a pizza right there.
That's fine. Listen, if you have no legitimate business and causing a disturbance, I'm going to ask you to leave.
How am I causing a disturbance, sir?
You're not. You're not. I'm telling you, if you do, I will ask you to leave. Public access.
But
or
I'm not-
If you're not here for legitimate reasons.
Sir, I have an active federal lawsuit and very knowledgeable of the law.
That's great.
So don't try to tell me I'm doing something I'm not doing, sir.
I didn't say you're doing it. I said if.
Sir, do you
I will
understand
ask
this
you
is
to
going to
leave.
go great on YouTube? How you just acting like
So what happened yesterday in New Carlisle?
total tyrant that you are, sir.
I'm not sorry.
You absolutely are. So let me
Little guy
speak.
standing here talking, he's trying to answer your questions.
So you're talking over me. So may I speak, please? May I tell the
Go right
story?
ahead.
Thank you very much. What is your office? You are D what?
Mayor, Sergeant Mayor,
And may I please have your badge number, please?
413.
Thank you, sir.
So what happened yesterday in New
So I was driving down this little access
I'm gonna
road.
stand over here while we do the pictures.
Sure, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do, sir. So I noticed a vehicle, a red vehicle, in a public parking lot that's on the edge of the park there, okay? And
Can you record me? Can you put it down so I can just see your face while we're talking?
how's that? Is that better, sir?
That's better, thank you.
Okay. So I don't know why you need to see my face. My hands are right here. You see my
This is
hands?
cool. I don't be able to see you
Oh.
when you talk.
So you haven't been polite to me though, sir. So here we go. So anyway, so I was driving down this road, and I immediately noticed strange behavior that I deemed to be strange. I'm not going to tell you what or how that is, okay? And so I turned in the parking lot there to take a photograph. I'm also having a health side effect also here. So I took 2 photographs of the license plate. Now, at that juncture, I did not know that it was an Officer Gaitone. Had no idea he was a cop. I'm unfamiliar upon your undercover units. had no clue. And so then he gets out of his car while I'm taking the photographs. He's a big guy. And I'm trying not to get into an altercation where I have to defend myself and where I have to explain to a jury why I might have killed somebody. So I'm not trying to do that. So I simply drove off. So I get back on the access road, and this red car, he turns his lights and sirens on. Okay? Now at this point, I have not seen a badge. I see nothing on the license plate. He wasn't wearing a uniform. He didn't flash a badge. There's no indication to me that a person that I know now as Officer Guy Tone is any type of law enforcement. Okay? So we're getting to the stop sign there that comes up on US 20. And then I'm at the stop sign. He gets out of his vehicle, and I'm still feeling threatened at that point. So I go into traffic to avoid him. So he's creating a safety hazard by simply backing off and calling PD for whatever he thinks may have occurred. So then I put my hazards on. I travel at about 20 miles an hour. That's 5 below the speed limit. So even if this guy were a cop at that point, they can't make the accusation I'm fleeing or doing anything, a felony, or that stuff. So in the process, I get on the phone with 911, and I tell them that I'm going to the New Carlisle Police Station, and I need an officer to actually be there who can discern who this person is. So once I'm at the police station, I believe Ron Witt of the NCPD was either there or he came out very shortly. And the occupant of the red car that I now know as Officer Guy Tone made a beeline towards Officer Ron Witt, and then they were talking. So in the video I have, then I'm asking several times, who is this guy? What is he doing? So then Ron says, hey, he's a real officer. So then Ron comes back and he says he's an Elkhart police officer, he's a detective. So at that juncture, I'm having to take Officer Ron Witt's word that he's a cop. I haven't seen any badge, no business card, notification, no nothing. So then I asked Ron Witt profusely, multiple times, for this officer that I know now as Mr. Guy Tone, his name and badge number. Ron would not accommodate that request.
You might not have known it though. So.
I disagree.
Well, I don't know North Carolina, or I'm sorry,
New Carlisle Police Department.
I don't know their badge numbers.
Well, but what I'm saying is though, I understand a badge number may be a little bit much, but a first and last name at that point is not. So, so obviously, Mr. Guy Tone showed some credential to Mr. Witt that satisfied Mr. Witt's curiosity that he is some type of law enforcement. Okay, if that was not the case, then Mr. Guy Tone would be in custody for impersonating a law enforcement officer. Okay, so obviously Mr. Witt could have gotten a first and last name to give to me. Then at that point I would have been done for the day, but that was not the case. So at that point I'm on a mission to identify this person so I can file a federal lawsuit and I can proceed that way. I don't think that's unreasonable.
So that's what you want first and last name?
At that point I did. So then at that point I proceed back up to the park and he's still there. So then eventually I call 911 again because I want a sheriff to come out. I want St. Joseph County to come out because I'm having a horrible interaction with Mr. Ron Witt.
Okay.
So I asked specifically that the sheriffs come to Memorial Park there. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure this out. Give me a first and last name, and then I'll be on my way back to what I was doing prior to this nonsense. And so the sheriff never came to the park. So then who shows up? Ron Witt. So he took control.
Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead,
Is
sir.
this park in New
Yes, sir. So Ron Witt took control of the situation. He took control of the radio traffic. He called off St. Joseph County. Okay. So at this juncture, I'm in the park. So is Mr. Gaitone, and so is Officer Ron Witt of the NCPD. Okay. Then I believe I am pulled behind Mr. Gaitone's car. I think I'd have to check the video to be specific where I was in the park in relation to Mr. Gaitone's car. And so then Officer Gaitone, that I know now is Officer Gaitone, and Mr. Witt approached the car, and Mr. Gaitone was asking for my identification. And you know, I wasn't happy at that point, to be honest with you. And I would not give it. And I know the law, 34-285-3, and the 3.5 version is very specific. There are specific circumstances where I, as a Hoosier, have to identify. And I'm sure that you and other law enforcement are familiar upon that statute, right? Correct? Okay. So then, because I would not identify, then Ron Witt, he gave a piece of paper to Mr. Gaitone. Now, I'm assuming it had my name on it and some other things. But I feel at that juncture that Ron Witt, that he violated state and federal law giving my information to another party when there was not a reasonable, articulable suspicion that I committed a crime. So at the first encounter up at the Elkhart Police Department, Ron Witt says there is a reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime. So I asked, what's the crime? At no juncture during this 50-minute altercation at 3 locations, 50 plus, at 3 locations involving the NCPD and the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Department and your officer, did I at any time be accused of an actual crime? So my feeling is this, just very simplistic. I don't think there's any more really irrelevant to the story that you guys need to investigate, because then that gets into the county police, that's not your jurisdiction. But it's very simple. So Officer Gaitone articulated to me that he thought I was taking photographs of his young daughter's or wife or whoever else was in the car, okay? Now, can we agree upon this, that photography in public, on public property, is not a crime?
It just depends on the person taking the photos, I would have to say.
I disagree. So you're saying what? Okay, so you have a person in a public.
If you're a person that's legally there and you're in a public place taking pictures, I don't see a problem.
Okay, so under my circumstance, that's what happened.
I
Okay.
don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm saying.
Well, I have
was
video.
legally
I was
allowed-
there, sir.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm trying to answer your question. As a person that's legally allowed to be in a park,
Yes.
and it's a public access park,
Mhm.
taking pictures,
Mm-hmm.
I see no problem with the.
Okay. So obviously, Mr. Gaitone does not share your sentiments, sir.
I don't know, because I wasn't
Well,
there yesterday.
I know. Okay, I know he
That's
doesn't.
fine, but I wasn't there, I don't know what happened yesterday.
So I'm not asking you to comment. I'm simply telling you he does not share your sentiment.
I didn't say that. I'm not going to say that.
I'm saying he does. You don't have to say anything. I'm saying he does. Okay? I'm saying he
You
does.
can say whatever you like. I'm just saying,
Thank you very much.
as long as you are legally allowed to be there, you're not breaking any laws, you're in a public
Correct.
access park.
So then my next question, okay? Under that carbon copy circumstance, would simply taking photographs, I'm allowed to be there, I'm on public property, no crimes are being committed, okay? Is it lawful for an off-duty cop to detain me, to put on his lights and sirens, attempt to cause an accident, follow me through the heart of New Carlisle, lights and sirens blaring? Do you think that is okay to do? I'm not asking you to comment if you were there. I'm simply, that carbon copy circumstance, is that okay in your official opinion?
But you're asking me a carbon copy, you're asking me to answer to a carbon copy situation, but you're putting in all kinds of other variables. which make it
No,
hard.
there are no variables, sir. That's what happened.
Okay. So can I ask you now, can I get your information to actually file a complaint?
You know, sir, you don't make me feel comfortable at all.
Can I at least get your name to get to our internal affairs?
You don't make me feel comfortable at all.
That's fine.
So
Can I get your
here's
name
how I'm
to
going to
get
proceed,
internal
sir.
affairs?
Sir, here's how I'm going to proceed, okay? Number one, I would like a written denial of the request that I made.
Can you tell me the request to her, because that way it's not lost in translation phone kind of thing? Or you told her.
Say that
something, she's-
one more time, please.
Can you tell me what your actual request to her was, so we're not missing something, losing something in translation?
Sure. So I feel that when Mr. Gaitone attempted to pull me over, I feel that he was acting during his official capacity as law enforcement, okay? So any records that were produced during that juncture, even on his personal cell phone, and I've made the argument that even on anybody else's cell phone in that car is public record, okay? Now, so let me finish, please. Now, if the records department, they disagree, you know, that's abundantly fine. But then I want a written denial so that I can file a case with the public access counselor down in Indianapolis, so that there's a third party, or just file a lawsuit or whatever I need to do to get that record.
Okay. The avenues that you would need to take, are the avenues that I just tried to provide you. If you don't feel comfortable with me, that's fine. But can I at least have you write your name down, even give it to our safety officer here to get to internal affairs so he can follow up?
No, you guys have exhibited behavior here that is just untoward and needs to be, the DOJ needs to get involved. I have a question. Now, I understand you're going to tell me that's for fallen officers over there, but what is it with cops wearing the thin blue line? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's a gang symbol. That's a gang symbol. So why is it the cops feel comfortable wearing the thin blue
Let
line?
me stick to the business at hand. Are you willing to provide me the information to file a formal complaint?
No. I'm asking nicely.
Anyway,
I would like written documentation that the records department is refusing my request for whatever reason, so I have documentation to send down to Indianapolis. That's all I'm asking.
I'll get you done.
So then I'll be gone after that point. But I think it's egregious how you've handled this, sir.
Okay.
There must be a thing with people with hands in their pockets here. It's not cold at all, folks. It is nice, and she only has one hand in her pocket. I need to get my phone recalibrated or something. It's just not wanting to zoom in correctly. There's not so bad. Guess maybe that's the trick. This cop is, whew, does not make me feel comfortable at all. So let's see what they got here to eat. So if I had more time, I would order a pizza, but I don't want to be anywhere near this place, because as long as anybody isn't causing a disturbance, I could literally sit in one of those chairs, order a Domino's or something, and break open a soda and have a little picnic. But you know, I'm not wanting to stay here. It's not very hospitable. Got cold drinks, 75 cents a can. It's not unreasonable. Their snack prices aren't horrible either. So I'm wondering if actual officers use this as well, because they seem pretty reasonably priced for vending machines. Some are a little high, but like Starburst there, that's about average for a vending machine. That's actually cheaper than a convenience store, to be honest with you. prices aren't horrible. Gum's a little high, but not horrible. So the city of Elkhart, or Elkhart County, has a large Hispanic or Chicane and or Chicano population. So they have some information from Homeland Security in Spanish here. So now they're closed. So we'll see how they're gonna play this. So we're closed now. Closed. Is that 5 o'clock? Did I say 5 o'clock? Only smell too closing early here, folks. Oh, that says 5 o'clock. If that clock is right, I need to ask. Hi. I have a question. What is the time?
Time is 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay, thank you. So obviously that clock is a little slow. All right. Okay, so no violation for closing early. Direct line to investigations. Huh, so does that mean I can be treated unfairly even more? That's excellent. But eventually I will get that cell phone video. I will get it. There's a quarter there. I don't think that's my quarter. But just like most police departments, this is a very inhospitable environment. Have you guys ever noticed that they relegate a small little area? So just truly get a size of this room. So I'm at the back window here, so my head is at the back window. So here's an accurate view of how big this room is. It's about as big as maybe a loft apartment. So here comes an officer, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. And it's not very big, but the police department, they dedicate the largest space to themselves. And I think that's a little selfish, to be honest with you. That seems a little selfish for law enforcement to say, hey, we're gonna actually take all your tax dollars, we're gonna take it for our salary, we're gonna take it for our pensions. And she gave me a weird look. She doesn't like me now, for whatever reason. Yeah, she's pissed at me. She's upset with me for whatever reason. Hi. So I'm gonna respect this lady and not show her face. Or show what she's doing. That's not pertinent to this. So you got home security. Let's see what this is. Senior safe. Hopefully I'll be alive to worry about that someday. Why this? Goodness, this focus is horrible. There you go. On average, not really interested. But I'd like to talk more about that thin blue line. So let's try not to get hurt. But that is a gang symbol. I don't care what anybody says, that's a gang symbol. Gang symbol. All right. Great day. Did you see how that cop didn't want to discuss the gang symbol? That's a gang symbol. I don't care what they want to quantify that. That's a freaking gang symbol. And so whoever came up with that is to fall into the dead. I mean, is a corrupt genius, because it's going to be hard for somebody to prove it's a gang symbol because, oh, it's falling from the dead. But like, everybody knows the thin blue line is a gang symbol. And it's no different than MS-13 or Houston or the Crips or the Bloods or the Black P Stones or etc. who have gang tattoos. Yet that is gang insignia. I mean, that is clear as day gang colors. And so if you disagree, please put a comment, or if you disagree upon anything in here, please comment. I'm open to constructive criticism. And there may be things you don't understand, and I am more than happy to explain a few things to you. So I am here for my viewers. Right now I have 0, but I'm here for myself right now. But I'm here for my viewers, and anything that you guys want to see as far as any buildings or anything you guys want to see, I'll put your suggestions in the comment box there. So ask about my records. Hi, how are you, sir? So another officer, he was gonna get a records, a denial form.
Yeah, he's the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming.
Okay. Is he always that disagreeable?
What do you mean? I don't know how he was.
Well, to me, he was very disagreeable. Is he always that way, or is it just
I don't know,
because
man.
he doesn't like me?
What I'd have to see what you guys said to compare him to anything, you know.
Right. I'd like to comment on that over there, the thin blue line. Man, I understand that somebody created that for fallen officers, okay? But that is a gang symbol, guys.
No, it's not.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Actually, what the thin blue line actually really meant is the blue line is the police officers. It divides good and evil. The black is good and evil, so it actually was made to divide. It shows where the thin line between which protects the upper good between the black, which are the bottom, which is the bad.
But then why is it so misconstrued that the thin blue line
because the
that
media
is...
misconstrues everything and everyone believes what they see on the media.
So do you have some literature?
No, I just told you. That's knowledge. That's
If
knowledge.
you don't want to fill out from me, put here. If you want to fill that out and bring it back, you can. That's a complaint form.
Okay,
from
thank you,
police
sir.
department. And that is this, as I told you.
Sure.
If you feel like if an officer violated anything, you need to contact this officer.
I'm
Lieutenant
confused.
Anderson.
Why aren't you giving me
Lieutenant
a
Anderson,
denial for the
at
records?
this phone number, and there's his extension.
Well, sir, I'm not leaving until you give me a denial for the records I requested, please.
Okay, well, I'm speaking for records, and I'm telling you they don't do that.
Well, then I want something in writing, please.
This isn't writing. It's typed, and there's my handwriting.
Request you've made, okay.
Okay, do you understand? So I
Yeah,
wrote in there,
yeah,
records doesn't,
okay.
they don't do that.
Okay.
Okay? So if you have
and
any
then could
follow-on,
you date and a timestamp that, please?
I dated it right there for you. Okay?
And could you write a time and your badge number or whatever on that,
1036.
please?
Yeah, right there. I signed it.
So could you put the
4:13.
time real quick, please?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
And in the future, anybody
Sorry
that
if
comes...
you can't read this, because it's real sloppy, but
Th-
that's a time.
Sure. So some constructive criticism for you gentlemen.
Okay.
Anybody that comes in here, you know, it would be paramount for you to make anybody feel welcome in their own house, okay? Because we're taxpayers, okay? And I just really, I just don't like you as an individual. There's just something that just rubs me the wrong way, and I think you're a dishonest cop, and I will be affiliating that video there too as well. So I just think that there needs to be a better way to have a more inviting feel to this establishment that is, you don't have a job upon tax dollars. Can we agree upon that? Yes? No?
I didn't hear your question.
So can we agree upon the fact that your salary, your position does not exist if tax dollars do not generate your salary?
I'm here for the people, yes.
Okay, so if you're here for the people, then you need to be totally retrained that being a CIA agent, violating my 8th Amendment right to avoid cruel and unusual punishment somehow is okay to do. So you can look at him, that's fine, you can have that face, it'll go great on YouTube, but I'm just saying that this will get rectified in the federal court. So thank you for your time. Now, I'm gonna exit, but something else you need to be rectified of, sir, is that,
Is it okay if I adjust my belt?
you can scratch your nuts if you'd like to, sir.
That's all right.
If I was so inclined, I could order a pizza here, but I don't want to stay here in 2 more seconds because you guys really have a dishonesty problem. So thank you very much. You have a great evening. Thank you.
Do the same, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. So they had me locked in there. So did you hear that buzzer as I went out? So that is the actual door releasing. Whew! There's a lot going on in there. I mean, you got a guy who just has daggers in his eyes. That guy is, man, corrupt and dishonest. Woo. That guy is, man, he's gonna beat somebody, he's gonna shoot somebody, he's gonna freaking kill somebody, he's gonna violate somebody's rights. Like, that guy needs to go. Like, he needs to go. He needs to go be a dog catcher. He needs to go pick out gallstones out of old people's poop. Like, man, he needs to be a bedpan operator. Like, that fucking guy is out of his fucking school. And I know some of you may think I'm overreacting on that, but man, his body language, his demeanor, that motherfucker, he's dangerous. Like, that little fuck, he is fucking dangerous. So the guy at the counter, the goofy looking guy, the younger guy, you know, he was okay. He wants to kind of give me some crap on that thin blue line thing, but I didn't expect anything different. And then the older guy, you know, he was actually pretty cool. He was nice, he was cordial. I'm trying not to get there. Hi. So anyway, I hope that you guys liked the city of Elkhart as much as I did not. And there seems to be some festival going on. You know, I will venture and see what kind of things are going on here in the city of Elkhart while I'm here in this meth cesspool.